All right, welcome back to the International Lacrosse Showdown here from Johnson & Wales University. We have 7 international teams, a lot of heritage guys out here. Just saw a great game between Israel and Jamaica. Jamaica actually took the 6-5 win. Now we've got Israel versus Hungary. And this should be really good. Hungary was the European Championships host just outside of Budapest in beautiful Godola, Hungary. They hosted the European Championships over the summer in 2016. The next major field lacrosse event is 2018 World Championships, which is hosted by Israel. So we've got a great matchup of our last two, or our last in our next, I should say, International Lacrosse event hosts. Starting off with a procedure call on the draw against Hungary. Great play there to get the ground ball by Matt Flapin. It's a good job moving it through X. Good opportunity there early for Israel. But Hungary gets the backup. Bit of a bouncer, but well handled. And Hungary brings it down the side. Good trap there by the attackman to use his chest. Keep that bouncing pass inbounds. Hungary now has their 6 offensive guys onto the field. Another good job there using the chest to keep that bouncing ball in play. Hungary running a very methodical, medium-paced offense. Looks like they've got a shorty matchup that they like. Going to run a little invert here. Job by the attackman to get up. About 5x5. Get that turnaround, righty shot. Nice ride, though, by Hungary attackman to get that ball on the ground. Good job there by the Israel D to eat that shot. Flips it back through the middle, which is a dangerous play. The Israel youngster comes up with the ball. Good look across the field. Israel gets the clear and works it down the alley. Had a slightly unsettled situation there, a little bit of odd numbers. But now we're settled in here. Nice little pick play there. Runs through the check of the long stick. Good overhand, high-to-low shot, but an excellent save from the Hungary goalie. A little over 3 minutes into this game, still tied at 0. Hungary Pole taking it down in transition. Kind of a slow break. Landsman, the Israel goalie, makes a big foot save. Comes up with a loose ball behind, flips it to his defenseman. Israel is looking to clear, but Hungary with a good ride to get the ball back. Got about 16 minutes left in this first half. Playing 2 20-minute running time halves. Weather is cool, but not cold. It's not windy. It's a little overcast. Again, the aggressive ride from Hungary is creating a lot of turnovers in their own offensive end. But one problem with an aggressive pressure ride is that it can pull a couple too many of your guys up the field. That's what happened there. Israel pushed the ball nicely in transition, got a great look, and a fantastic finish to take an early 1-0 lead 5 minutes into this first half. All right, man. Good to see you. Looks like we've got a hold on Hungary. That ball is going to go back to Israel on possession. Joined now by Scott Neese, one of many men behind Israel Lacrosse, but really the guy who's got his hands in everybody's pockets, you know, making things happen. I hope not. No. I was trying to be complimentary. Scott is really unbelievable. I mean, the experience that he's had, Major League Lacrosse, National Lacrosse League, the FIL, starting Israel Lacrosse in 2012, and now 2018. It's only going to be 6 years after the program started. Going to be hosting their first ever World Lacrosse Championships. First time we're ever going to see the World Lacrosse Championships held outside of a blue division country, outside of England, Australia, or North America, Canada, and the U.S. It's a huge accomplishment. And without giving too much away, Scott, what do you guys have in store? What are you most excited for about Israel hosting the World Games in 2018?
Thanks, Connor. Thanks for the kind words. I think we're most excited to kind of show off our country and our facilities and help change the perception of, I think, our region and developing lacrosse nations as a whole. That hey, we've got first-class facilities. We're capable of hosting the world, and Israelis also are just rabid sports fans. They love sports, and I think this is a huge platform to get lacrosse in front of a lot of people and really make us mainstream. I mean, opening night, we're hoping to have a packed stadium, 13,000 people, and I think that everybody, we're hoping for 50 countries to come. I think that everybody that comes is going to really fall in love with the country, fall in love with the beaches, and you know, we want to raise the bar. We want to make it the best World Championship ever as far as fan experience and team experience. And you know, that starts with first-class facilities at Wingate Institute, which is our national Olympic training center, and also where we train all our gym teachers in country. But we're a small country, and we have amazing sports facilities, and I think that people are, besides the fact that the World Games is an amazing experience in of itself, with the camaraderie and the, you know, all the different countries and all the different cultures meshing. We want people to really feel comfortable in Israel and feel like, hey, this is not just the World Games, but this is the World Games in an exciting new place. And I think that can really be an impetus for growth for a lot of different countries. That, hey, you know, Hungary just hosted the European Championships, and maybe they're looking at hosting something like this next. And, you know, Thailand and all these different countries, I think, can now aspire, hey, this isn't just a rotation with the Big Four. This is something that anybody can strive to host, and I think that we're representative of a lot of the new blood and the new nations. And you look at international lacrosse and the growth from, you know, a dozen countries not too long ago to 50 in this World Championship, 56 in the FIL. I think that this is representative of all that new growth.
Absolutely. I mean, you're seeing a lot of it. You've got a bunch of newer countries playing here today. A lot of people interested, getting involved. I think it's great to see a guy like Bob Vlahakis, you know, Face-Off Yearbook founder. I mean, this is a guy who's been involved in lacrosse for a long time. Now he's running Greece Lacrosse. It's exciting to see them join in. But I'm really excited, too, to see what this can do in country, in Israel, in terms of lacrosse's popularity. I mean, I know basketball and soccer are quite popular, but internationally, lacrosse probably has the best chance for a high finish. You know, what do you think you can do in terms of making lacrosse a really popular sport in Israel through the World Games?
I'm just taking a note right here on the goal here.
Taking stats, doing an interview at the same time. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Give me the goal call.
Josh Offit there.
2-0.
Excellent. We like it. We do have a 2-0 lead. We got about 10 minutes gone in this first half. You guys can continue to watch the game, but we are going to keep talking about lacrosse here. So, yeah, I mean, my question is, what do you think this can do in terms of making it truly popular in Israel and making it a mainstream sport?
That's I think the key word is mainstream. And you mentioned soccer. I mean, we're a soccer crazy country. You look at Hapoel Beersheva, and we're not in the World Cup. We've been in one World Cup in our country's history. We went like 0-3 and out. But I mean, I'm amazed how during the World Cup that Israel's not in, that every TV in the country is tuned onto this. People are on the streets, people are on the beaches watching on big screens. It's really a soccer crazy country. And then basketball is big for us too. Maccabi Tel Aviv is a regular in the Euro Final Four. And the exciting part is that basketball influx came relatively recently. It was in the 1970s and Tal Brody and that influx into Maccabi Tel Aviv really being on the map and putting Israel on the map. And that all came, out of nowhere in the 70s. And I think that we can do the same thing with lacrosse. We have the same flow as soccer and basketball. And Israelis understand this sport. This isn't like we're trying to transplant baseball or American football. This game's easy to understand. It's fan-friendly. Our product is great. But it's also a physical sport. It's a contact sport. And Israelis like that. And, the sport is made for us. But I think our international success can and will put us on the map, and we're not just on the map, we're hosting the map here, and that's the exciting part. We've never hosted anything this big as a country. Israelis recognize the scale of this, and they know that this is a big deal, that this is the first time our country's ever hosted a world championship, the highest level in any sport.
So this is actually the first time in any sport. I mean, you never had anything else at this level hosted in Israel.
We've had European U21 championships, we've had individual sport championships, but not a team sport at the highest level like this.
Well, that was a pretty high-level goal there from Jake Silberlicht, using the defenseman as a screen, taking the underhand bounce shot. That puts Israel up 3-0 with about 8 minutes left to go in this first half. Since we're here, since we've got all these countries coming to Providence, Rhode Island on Final Four weekend, and you're a huge part of organizing this, what is kind of the impetus behind this international showcase? Why do you guys do this? And what are most of the teams that are here looking to get out of it?
This started, we've been playing an international friendly with Philippines for the last 4 or 5 years, and it started from that. And then 3 years ago, we invited Greece to join to help boost them and give them momentum to launch a program. And it was like this 3-team round robin. Hungary joined last year, that made it 4. And at that point last year, we started calling it the Showdown. Now we have 7 teams here representing 7 countries, it's there's no bones about it. These are mostly dual citizen teams, heritage teams. We've got a couple guys from Israel. We got 3 guys from Israel that flew over. I know Philippines has 2 guys that flew over, but for the most part, this is not about preparing for a World Games. Sure, you can evaluate guys, and you got coaches from different teams here. But I think it's about building momentum as a program. There's no doubt a lot of these programs are spurring, and our model, I think, of doing this maybe legitimizes this model. But guys from abroad spurring development in the homeland, and you can see it. You can see it. It's hard to go to a country, and there's no playbook on how to do this. When you get to a country and start lacrosse, you need people. You need knowledgeable people. You need people that are passionate about both your sport and the country to do that. And this really gives an opportunity for guys who want to be involved to do that and really dip their foot in the water and meet the people involved and pick up momentum. But I think this is about raising awareness for lacrosse in our countries. It's about getting equipment and getting people and momentum. And last year we had this giant mountain of gear that everyone was donating, and I think we're gonna at this event next year, maybe do like the world's largest equipment drive and bring all that stuff over to Israel and launch pad out, to Malta, Cyprus, Jordan, Greece, from there to different countries. But a lot of good things come from this, and I think the idea of doing it the same weekend as the NCAA Final Four, it merges kind of two good things where people can come and play in this and then stick around, watch the games. Any players from abroad that are coming in for this, they get to come in and they get to watch the Final Four. It's really like a good meeting of the minds and good progression. But I don't know. I think different programs are doing different things, and that's okay.
I mean, it's similar to how different programs have different development approaches, right? And I mean, in Jamaica, they've really focused on their 7th through 12th grade. Yep. That's their high school, their Form 1 through 6. They've really focused on that for their development. You guys have done a great job with your youth teams in the IPLL. Right. And all of these countries out here are taking different approaches. So it is cool to see them all come together, with their different approaches and play some games and, share best practices. Is that something that you get out of it by being able to talk to some of the other leaders of these programs and hear what they're doing and they can hear what you're doing? And does that kind of push things forward as well?
I think so. I mean, what you said about different teams, we've got a lot of younger guys in this, and we're using it to engage more people and get more people wearing the Israel jersey. And I think a lot of new programs, it's the first time they've ever done something. Puerto Rico played their first ever game yesterday, and Hungary's building momentum, and Portugal is playing their first kind of real games after the festival in 2014. It just gives something to that. We're not like a once every 4-year program that pops up around the World Games, and I think this gives an opportunity for other countries to do the same thing. For us, it's about building relationships with these teams, sharing of the mind, sharing of best practices. But beyond that, this is a platform, and I think it's kind of like our obligation a little bit to help create this platform and and to share what we know and to give these teams an opportunity to play games. I don't know. There's nothing bad coming from this. This is all good. This is all good things to get people like this together. So I don't know. Well, good games across the board, pretty much. And it's the first time we got 2 fields and a lot of activity, a lot of energy. For games starting at 7 in the morning, I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I would definitely say the effort is there no matter what in every game I've seen. And playing lacrosse at 7 is no easy task. It's hard to wake up and go get hit with a stick. But these guys have been doing a great job, and I think we've seen some really good play. You talk about the young guys. That last Israel goal, the 4th goal, was scored by Nick Lipscher, current high school player in New York City at the Dalton School. It's great to see guys like that getting involved, playing against grown men. Nice little opportunity there from Hungary with the dodge from behind. Couldn't quite get the shot to go, but they get the backup. Absolutely. I mean, this has been a really cool thing for me to see as well in person, to see some of these teams play for the first time, to see some of the teams that I've known well, to see them change a little bit and, bring in some new guys, getting involved. And, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is that people are more excited now about international lacrosse than that they've ever been in the past. I think the growth has a big part of that, the fact that there are 50 countries. I guess the big question on a lot of people's mind is, what does it take for a country to get past the intro point and to become a blue division team? Maybe not along the lines of the U.S. and Canada or the Iroquois, but maybe England or Japan or Israel. I mean, what can some of these newer teams do to really push themselves to that next level?
It's all about. I think you really have to take like a 20-year outlook almost and say, how do you develop? And our answer to that, and again, every country is different. And you've seen teams like Germany and Netherlands having kind of a lot of success. Finland with their model. Our model is a little different, and it's been really youth development. And I think Jamaica's got a similar model, and I think that's going to pay off for us when these kids start growing up. And our best players. We get these amazing players out of Israel, and they're starting to influx. Like we had Ori Bar-David, Netanya Kid at our press conference. He's gonna be on our men's indoor team and break through this year, and I'm sure he'll compete for a spot on the world team in his hometown. But he's one of 8 or 9 kids that I think can break through this cycle, and these kids are good. They're special players.
Nice little goal there, Josh Offit. getting through the middle, taking the left-hand shot, finding a little high cheese, putting it away in the cupboard. It's going to give Israel a 5-0 lead as the last minute of the first half is starting to wind down. It's been great stuff just to see everything that's been going on. And I think that the youth development model is really important just because you've seen some national programs come up. They've got a good crew of guys who are 18 to 30 years old, and then when those guys age out, the program can kind of die off a little bit. So I think the youth model is great, and it's also just a fun opportunity for the kids to get involved and play lacrosse.
Absolutely, and as far as where we want to break through, we're on the edge of the blue group right now, and maybe we can get in there. But if we want to compete for a medal with the likes of the U.S. and Canada, and we want to try to take down a superpower, we need to develop players from the ground up that have been playing lacrosse their whole life. You're not going to get a player who's as good as the player from the U.S. unless you develop your own from a young age. And what we think we know is that you don't get good at the sport if you pick up a stick at 18. You have to grow up with this sport. You don't get passionate about this sport if you pick up a stick at 18. You have to grow up with this sport. And I think that's our plan as we look forward to the Olympics and we look forward to the big things that I think are on the horizon for our sport. If we want to take down a U.S. or a Canada and compete with these teams, we really need our own homegrown kids that are going to be special players to break through. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen with second-tier talent from another country. It's not going to happen. Not knocking any players. I mean, there's incredible players that are not good enough to make the U.S. teams that find their way onto other teams, and that's okay. But if we want to take that next step, I think, and really be a contender in this sport, we need to grow our own players, and that's why the youth development model, I think, is panning out. And beyond that, I mean, that's just what this is all about: is getting kids playing the sport, getting lacrosse sticks into more kids' hands across the world, and that's a really exciting part about our movement in Israel, and I think what they're doing in Jamaica and several other countries that are doing it right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is the big difference maker. And listen, you don't get a kid who maybe picks up the stick when he's 3 or 4 years old and maybe never makes a national team, but he's had that sport in his life as a guiding force. I know that lacrosse has done a lot for me just in terms of helping me grow up and be a better man. It teaches a lot of life lessons. So, no matter what, I think you get the value out of it. So great job organizing this event, getting these guys going. Next year, a little bit bigger, right? Maybe add in a couple more teams.
Maybe.
All right, I like it.
Maybe 50.
Excellent. Scott Neese, thank you for joining us, giving a little perspective on the international growth of the game, Israel lacrosse, and what we can expect for 2018. It should be a fantastic setup. I'm excited.
Thank you, Connor.
We are back. Second half action here. Israel with a 5-0 lead over Hungary. Good ground ball win there for Hungary. A little bit of a double team and a hold. See what the call is. I was right. 30-second hold. Hungary going to get a man-up opportunity here. Looking to put their first goal on the board in this game. They have been scoring goals in other games, so I was a little surprised to see a scoreless first half from Hungary. Doing a good job working the ball around, sharing it between up top. It's got to be the fourth or fifth shot that Matt Flapin has eaten up, taken off the shoulder or the head. He's a tough guy, though. He's totally fine. He can deal with it. Nice stick up there from Israel. That's going to go off of the Israel stick. Hungary will retain possession. Hungary cycling the ball around, still on the man up. So the penalty had released. We were playing even lacrosse there, but Hungary doing a good job of changing up the pace of their play a little bit. Went from kind of a slower, more controlled offense to a little bit faster ball movement. Nice move down the alley and a look inside. Excellent catch and goal. That gets Hungary on the board. Israel still with a 5-1 lead. Got 17 and a half minutes left in this second half. 20-minute running time period. Good fight here between the two face-off players. A little surprised that nobody's been called for withholding yet, because the ball's been in there and there's not a lot of movement. So looks like we've got a blue withholding call, and Hungary in white is going to pick this up and move it quickly to X. Good skip pass across the top. Excellent defense there, though, from the short stick. Good dodge from X to get up to the 5-5. Excellent save there from the Israel goalie Landsman. Good simple clear there for Israel. Gets it down the alley to X, back up top to the midfielders. And about just under 16 minutes to go in this one. Nice alley dodge, roll back to his left to the middle. Rings it off the outside of the pipe. Some good ball movement, dodging to the middle, keeping the ball hot. Great dodge over the left, and that little pull pass back. Finds a lefty shooter up top, 14 yards out. Great off-stick placement on that shot. Good velocity. Nice catch and snap shot. Of course. Josh Rotman asking if I'm going to talk about him. There he is, 22, the double deuce. (6-1) lead, just under 15 minutes to go. Another long, extended draw, perhaps. And that time we get white called on a withholding call. We're going to go blue ball this time. Two face-off guys seem relatively evenly matched. A lot of tie-ups, a lot of withholding calls, a lot of procedure calls. That's usually, that can't happen when you've got two evenly matched guys trying to gain even the slightest edge over their opponent. Good ball movement there from Israel to get it up. Pulls it out, gets ready for the dodge. Good physical defense. Nice de-sticking. And now Hungary looking to push the ball in transition. They've got a 4-on-3 break. Long stick, not afraid to shoot it. Put some velocity on that one, just a little bit high. But like I've said before, I'm a former defensive player myself. I have no problem with the long stick, taking it down, letting it rip. It's definitely something that can ignite a team. Anytime your long stick comes down and sticks one, tends to get people excited. Hungary again being pretty patient had a great look there on the backside. Couldn't quite reel it in. Do a good job of getting the ball back, but Andrew Kruder doing a great job there. Nice high and away look. Connecting on the bounce. Israel will work it down the alley. Back to X, down to the alley, and back up top. You see that almost every time. Unless they're really pushing transition, Israel's going to take it down the alley, get their X guy a touch, which is just smart lacrosse. You know, that is the least dangerous place to kind of hold the ball, is behind your opponent's goal. So every time you get it down, if you're not going right away, it's a good place to get the ball to X, settle it down, then you can swing it back up top if you want. Again, another nice little dodge to the strong hand for that lefty player, Nick Lipscher. Kicks it back up top. The top guy tried to find the crease guy, and then you got another good look from the same position. Good pressure there from the Hungary defense. Good job keeping his stick on the offensive player's hands. Being a pest. Good dodge there to get topside. Nice little lift there by the defender. Make sure that that shot went a couple feet high. Just under 11 minutes left in the second half here. 20-minute running time halves. Good take there. A little alley dodge. Roll back to the lefty on the inside. Good job crashing down there by the Hungary defense. Come up with the loose ball. Good job there by Hungary. A little bit of an unorthodox clear, but it worked. Good job trying to create some chaos and take advantage of the chaos. Pass is just a little bit behind the cutting player. There's a little 6-on-5 moment there for Hungary. Good check there to put it on the ground, but 25 for Hungary, doing a great job getting it back to himself, trying to get the shot off. Good backup from Hungary. A nice look inside, up top, getting about a 13-yard shot. Went a little bit wide. Hungary definitely looking a little bit more dangerous, a little bit more settled on offense now. Got just under 9 minutes left here in the second half. Running time, 20-minute periods. From Johnson & Wales University in Providence, Rhode Island. This is the International Lacrosse Showdown. Held the same weekend as the Final Four games, which are being played over in Foxborough. Saw a couple unbelievable games yesterday with Towson up 6-3 on Ohio State. Ohio State coming back, taking a 1-goal win. Congratulations to Nick Myers, former D3 player at Springfield College. I was a D3 guy myself, so a little shout out, D3. Doing a great job with those guys. Ohio State not only making their first Final Four, but now making their first finals appearance. And you got John Tillman and the Terps on the other side, and they did not have an easy game with Denver. They went up like Towson did by a couple goals, and Denver stormed back. Story of the day had to be Maryland's success against Trevor Baptiste at the faceoff circle, especially early on. That allowed them to get some goals together, and they were able to hold on for the one-goal game. Had a couple, I don't know, emotional, suspect crease calls at the end of that one. It was a heck of a game, though. Another one-goal finish, and that Memorial Day Monday game should be just an absolutely awesome contest. You got Maryland. I don't think that they've won a title since 1971, but they played in a lot of title games. Played in 2016, 15, 11, and a bunch of years in the 2000s before that, a bunch of years in the 90s. So, I mean, Maryland definitely wants to win one. They want to get one back. Got Matt Rambo this year passing Bob Boniello, who's a ref actually in Long Island, New York City, still involved with the game. Rambo passing him as the all-time leading scorer for the Terps. So that's got to be a decent. It's got to give them a decent chance to win it. Had some great players come through Maryland with Joe Walters and a number of guys. I mean, each team has been loaded up with 10 or 12 just unbelievable players for the Terps. But I don't know who's going to win that game on Monday. You know, Ohio State looks fantastic right now. Maryland looks fantastic right now. I think it's going to be a fantastic game. I'm very excited for it. And whatever prediction I do make is definitely going to be wrong, so I'm going to hold off. Today you've got a D2 and a D3 game. D2 games are typically a little bit lower scoring. Plays a pretty good defense, very physical. D2 lacrosse is fantastic. It's well worth a watch. Believe those games are probably online at ncaa.com. 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock. The D3 game should be unreal. RIT, Salisbury. I mean, what else do you want? There we go. Another goal here from Hungary. We've got about 5.5 minutes left in this one. Nice little piece of ball movement there from Hungary. And a nice short side finish. It's about 5 minutes left. We've got a 6-2 score. Israel hit with a penalty after that one. So we've got a man down face-off for Israel. Got a hold call on Josh Offit taking that draw. And now the Hungarian man-up unit hits the field after the face-off win. Long-range bomb going to the far pipe. Doesn't quite hit the net, but Hungary does back up. And they will retain possession. Another quick shot on the man-up. From that lefty wing, goes a little bit wide. Number 6 took one shot, went left, wide left. The next one went wide right. I think if he gets another one, he's going to stick it. You know, it's a law of averages. Make some adjustments. Israel now man down, clearing the ball. And we're even now. Back to 6-on-6. Good physical slide there from Hungary to create the turnover. They throw the ball away on the clear at the last minute. And Israel will pick up the ball, and with 3 minutes left, they're going to try to get a successful clear. We got a hold call on Hungary. Got him right up around the neck. Sometimes your stick just kind of catches under the guy's chin. It does happen. It's happened to me. Good job, though, by the Hungary guy to kind of pull up and not yank his stick out. That can really hurt your opponent's neck if it's done incorrectly. Lacrosse is a physical sport. Part of what makes it so much fun. Even if you're the one taking the abuse. Israel here on the man up. Find that low righty wing shot. Hungary goalie makes a big save. Pops up the rebound, which Israel is able to control. They look for that low right shot. Again, don't quite get it, but another rebound. An unbelievable one-handed pickup there. Number 19. Getting it to go, 5-hole. With the one-hand crease shot. Got about a minute and a half left here. Israel's got a 7-2 lead over Hungary. And after this one, we've got another game coming up. Jamaica is going to retake the field here. And they're going to take on the Philippines. Should be an exciting game. I think it would be close, but I'm not going to make any predictions. Good ground ball there and a swim dodge from Israel. Good job to just goose it out wide. Under a minute left here. Second half action. I don't think Israel will push it at this point. Ref caught the Hungarian defenseman for a little bit of extracurricular stuff there. Not too bad. "30 seconds left. Nick Lipscher gets his second goal of the game. With 20 seconds left, this one's probably going to run out before we see another draw. We're definitely going to finish up with an 8-2 scoreline here. Israel doing a good job bouncing back after a 6-5 loss to Jamaica. Hungary played a good game. Goalie played a great game. It was a lot of fun. Two teams got after it. Saw some good face-off battles. It's a very even play here and there. Pretty clean game. Couple penalties, a little bit of action going on. This is the third day these teams have been playing, so that stuff does happen. Guys are getting a little tired perhaps. But excellent effort from both teams. We'll be back with another game right after this.